Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey. Thank you so much for stopping by. As you can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be doing my favorite makeup products of 2020. I tried a lot of makeup this year, and I loved pretty much most of it. If you want to see the best of beauty, in my opinion, then just keep on watching. Before we do that though, please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video from me. So I'm super excited to be doing this. This is the first time I'm doing a video like this. I have all of my picks laid out in front of me. This makeup is not necessarily items that came out in 2020, but they are items that I tried in 2020 or maybe end of December last year. So let's get started with primer. So I mostly used up a lot of primers this year that I already had. I didn't really bring a lot of new ones in. I brought in some samples, but nothing really revolutionary. One I really like though is the hydrating or the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer from First Aid Beauty. Now, a lot of people say, you don't need primer if you do good skin prep, which I agree with to a certain extent. I use a matte tinted sunscreen, and that it's not super drying, but it is nice for me to add a little bit more hydration back to the skin. It's my favorite sunscreen. It's just affordable, it's easy to apply. I like that it's tinted. But sometimes, depending on the foundation I use on top of it, I do need a little something like a hydrating layer. So I do like adding this on top, and I really, really like it. And I like the smell. I don't think it's fragranced because it's First Aid Beauty. It doesn't say on the back. It says no artificial fragrance, but I really like the smell. It smells like cucumbers, and not like fake cucumber smell, but like you just chopped up a cucumber. But yeah, this is my favorite primer this year. My favorite primer of all time is the Milk Hydro Grip, but I didn't try that in 2020. Foundation. Now, if you asked me a few weeks ago, I wouldn't have had a pick for foundation. There's ones I liked, but this year was really focused on using foundations rather than buying foundations. However, I did buy this because I had a sample of it, and when I tried the sample, it reminded me of my favorite, I'm a broken record, I say this all the time, but my Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. And I tried the sample of this, and it is almost the exact same. Not the same, and I looked at the ingredients, and they have a lot of the same ingredients. This one has like more ingredients, which doesn't really bother me, but they have a lot of the same ingredients. I am not a chemist or makeup formulator, so I don't know if they're that similar, but application-wise, they're very, very similar, and I'm wearing it today. And I love this foundation. I am the shade Fair Neutral 11, just for reference, but I got this, I used the 20% off coupon. I used a 20% off coupon at Ulta to get this, and I really like this foundation. I really recommend it. So for concealer, I don't have one. I tried a couple concealers this year, but none of them I really like enough to consider a favorite, so I'm just gonna skip over concealer. Next, for powder. Hands down is this Fenty Pro Filter. I have the mini size, but the Instant Retouch Setting Powder in the shade Butter. Oh my god, this is beautiful. First off, I love the smell. I don't think it's fragrance, but I love the smell. It's just so soft and pretty, and it sets the face, but it gives you like a slight glow. And I love it. It's so pretty, and this mini size is gonna last me forever. So this mini size, you get 7.8 grams, and for reference, the Bare Minerals Original Foundation in the regular size is 8 grams, so this is a huge mini, by the way. Next up, let's talk about bronzer. This year, if I got into two makeup products, it was really bronzer and lip gloss. So I have two picks to share with you. First up, we have the Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Ambra. This is the lightest shade, and it's one of those baked gelée formulas, so you need a really dense brush to apply it, but there's a swatch. This is a blush stain, but it's a really nice light bronzer, and I really, really like it. And then the other one I like is the Fenty really reflective packaging, the Fenty Indasun powder bronzer. Again, a really nice light shade. Both of these are really nice. The Fenty one is a little harder pressed, so it doesn't really swatch that great, but it's a really nice and natural bronzer for me. Next up, let's talk about highlight. I have, once again, two highlights to talk about. First up, I have the Milk Flex highlighter in the shade Lit. This is a kind of champagne color. Really nice formula. I bought this because Smoky Glow always talks about it, and I thought I would try it out. It's swatched right there. Really nice highlight. I think it works on a lot of fair to light skin tones. I can't speak to darker skin tones, but I know people a little darker, that has a little darker of a skin tone to me, can use it. And I'm pretty fair and it doesn't leave a cast. It kind of looks like it would on my arm, but I really like it. And then we have the Nabla Skin Glazing in Ozone. So they have some darker shades of this that either could be a highlight on a darker complexion or as a blush. I don't have any of the darker ones to use as a blush, but I would like to. So as you can see, it's a little bit lighter of a pale gold color, but it's so pretty, and it's just so pretty on the skin. I'm not wearing either of these today. I just filmed, you'll probably see it before this, the Musée Beauty Get Ready With Me. So I'm wearing Musée right now. But yeah, those are two highlighters I really, really, really like. As for blush, this was really a year of blush for me. But ultimately I have two formula picks. So first up is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism Blush Palette. I love this palette. I got it on the second, or the restock. My boyfriend actually picked it up for me for my birthday, and I love this. I can get away with all of the shades. This one's more of a bronzy blush situation, and this one I just need a light hand. So as you can see, let's swatch them. They're very pigmented. The only dud, in my opinion, is this Pink Moon shade. It doesn't even show up on me that much. Let me swatch the rest of the shades. These are all matte except for Soleil, which is over here, which kind of reminds me of Milani Luminoso. Oh my god, these swatches are a mess. So I swatched them out of order, but here are all of the swatches. They're really nice and pigmented. You need a light hand, so yeah, these are a really nice blendable blush formula. Pigmented, but not too pigmented. If you have a light skin tone like me, just go in with a light hand. I'm repeating myself, but this is worth the hype, I think. I would love to see them come out with single blushes. I really want to try their highlight, but they have not restocked it all year long. And I hope that, I just can't wait to see what else Lunar Beauty comes out with. I didn't pick up their holiday release because I don't need any more lipsticks, even though I want to try this formula. I don't need any more glosses, even though I want to try the gloss formula. And the palette just didn't speak to me. The brushes looked nice. I wouldn't have bought the whole set, so I might just add some on next time I order from Lunar Beauty. But definitely a brand I'm continuing to watch out for. I have their Moonspell palette, and I really love that. So wanted to give the blush palette a shout out. I know it just restocked. I don't know if it went out of stock after the restock. But next up is probably going to be in a lot of people's favorites videos, and that is the Rare Beauty blush formula. I have this little mini sample I got from Sephora with like a gift with purchase. This is in the shade Grace, really nice fall winter shade for me. It's like a mauve purple. And then I have two of these I got in one of their sets. This is Joy and this is Love. So this is kind of a bright coral color, and this is more of a terracotta red shade. Love both of these. Worth the hype. Again, so effortless and beautiful. I wish I could get all of the shades in this mini size. I'm not going to buy the mini kit with the shade Bliss in the lip balm, even though I really, really want to. But these are so beautiful and so nice, and definitely worth the hype. If these holiday sets are still in stock, I would recommend you picking them before they no longer have the holiday sets. These are really, really nice. So before we get into eyeshadows, I did just want to shout out this eye primer. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is a really great eye primer. I did stop using concealer today, or not today, this year. I did use it the first half of the year because I was just trying to use up a really light concealer. But then I picked this up and I really love it. My only complaint is that I wish it did have a little bit of pigment to it to cover like the veins on my lids. I don't need a primer that does that, but I do prefer it. But this is really great. I wish they would just come out with another shade, because it says 01 Nude, but it goes on clear, you know? So, yeah, I would love for them to come out with more in like colors, or not like colors like blue and green, but like skin tone colors. So now let's get into eyeshadow. I have a ton of picks, and it was really hard to narrow it down. So I divided it in between palette formula or palettes and singles. So first up, I do want to give a shout out to the At Forest site by ColourPop in collaboration with Raw Beauty Kristi. My boyfriend got me this as an early Christmas present and I love it so much. This is like the palette of my dreams. This is so beautiful. The shade Chanterelle, Chef Kiss. It's beautiful. It's just the perfect palette of my dreams. Kind of what I wish the Anastasia Subculture palette was like, which I never got, so this is kind of like my Subculture palette in a way. I love this color story. I'm going to cherish this palette forever because it's such a beautiful formula, so blendable in just the ColourPop formula that I know and love. I love everything in here. I love the Super Shocks also that came with it because there are obviously a lot of mattes in here, so you can kind of transform the mattes into shimmers. So I love this palette. I don't know if it's sold out, but if they restock it, I highly recommend picking it up if you have not already because you don't want to miss out on this palette. It's so good. And then I just wanted to highlight a formula I tried this year. I don't think any of these released this year, but I picked up these 3 palettes from Menagerie. I think the only other full palette they have is the Pastel Pop palette, which I'm not into pastels, so I didn't pick that up. But for my birthday, I bought myself the Feral palette because I've always wanted it. And it's just... this is just such a beautiful palette. In my If I Could Only Keep One tag, I mentioned this as the palette I would keep because I feel like you can do so much, there's so much variety with this palette. You could go neutral, you could go green, you could use these like pops of pink and red and yellow. So I love this, and the mattes are so nice and pigmented. There's a lot of fallout, that's the only con. In the Whale Song palette, they stain. But I even love the shimmers. Like, these are really, really nice. This is just, it's a really nice formula, and I can't wait to see what Menagerie comes out with next year. The Whale Song is such a beautiful blue-green palette. I love it so much. It does stain, but it really doesn't bother me. Even the next day, it's fine. I put on eyeshadow over it, and it's not a big deal. And then my favorite neutral palette, the Killer Purr palette. It's really nice. I wish there were more shimmers, but now that I have the ColourPop Super Shocks from the Raw Beauty collection, I feel like I can use those to kind of transform some of these into shimmers. Plus, I have a huge singles collection now, so I can always just dip into those. Speaking of singles, let's talk about my 2 favorite formulas I bought this year. First up is Divina. Now, these aren't all my Divina shades because I bought some for Black Friday and they're in another palette while I continue to use them, but these are a bunch of the ones I've tried. I first started out with the Candy Cakes collection up here. I fell in love. I bought that and then this shade over here, Gumballs, which is from the Sugar Drops collection. So then when they restocked, I picked up more of the Sugar Drops. I also picked up a bunch of the Galaxy Dust shades down here. This is from their Butterfly Kaleidoscope collection. Like, I'm looking at it now when it's green, but on the screen it's red. This one's not my favorite. But then these are from their Pure Multichrome collection, the Aurora Flare Month collection, and these are beautiful. The shade Celesta and Asteria are so beautiful. Look at that shift on Asteria. Just Divina's shades are so beautiful, and there are some swatches. They're just so beautiful, and I'm so glad I finally paper towel. Oh, I clearly did a good job. They're just such a good formula, and I just love being able to support this brand, and she did some sneak peeks for 2021, and I'm so excited. They're kind of the brand I see myself being really loyal to and kind of trying everything that they release, because I think these are just some really special shades, and these are also, if you're looking to try multichromes, these are going to be the most affordable multichromes you ever try. They have 3 more shades there in my other palette because I haven't used them yet, but just such a beautiful formula, and I'm so happy I tried Divina. I haven't tried any of their mattes yet, but yeah. And then, shocker, Clionadh Cosmetics. I have one in my other palette that I haven't used yet, and I did place an order during their sale. But here are a few of the shades I picked up. Don't ask me why it's organized like this, but it is. These are beautiful. So these are all glitter multichromes except for this one, which is the jeweled multichrome in Patina. I really like this, but now that I have the Divino ones, I don't see myself picking up any more. Maybe the shade Gargoyle, because it's a very unique one that I almost bought during the sale, but I didn't. I probably won't pick it up until I do another sale. But these glitter multi-chromes are so beautiful. They add such a pop to the eye. I tried to do a mix of colors and neutral, so when I do have to go back to the office and wear work appropriate eyeshadow, I have something that I can pop into and still show my love of makeup through that, will still be an office appropriate. So if you haven't tried Clionadh yet, I highly recommend it. I think their sale is still going on through, I don't know if this video will be up, but they were doing pre-orders if the shade sold out. But it's well worth the wait. And yeah, I highly recommend Clionadh. I can't speak highly enough of them enough. The only thing I would say is I would not, like I said, unless they have a really hyper unique jeweled multichrome, those ones are the expensive ones, and I don't see myself picking up more unless they have a really hyper unique one, because they are quite expensive compared to ones like the Divino ones that I also really love that are much cheaper, especially I don't have to pay the international shipping. So those are my picks for eyeshadow. Now for eyeliner, for black liquid liner, I picked the ColourPop BFF liquid liner in the brush tip. They originally came out with felt tips, and then I was just browsing the ColourPop website one day, and I saw they had a brush tip. Didn't like the felt tip one. That's not my favorite application method. So I tried this, and it is so good, so black, so opaque, and precise. I did pick up earlier this year, you know, after, I actually don't know where it is. Where is it? Okay, it's not in my cup, so I don't know where it is, but I did pick up the KVD Vegan Beauty one, which was my holy grail for so long, and then I stopped buying it for obvious reasons. But now that Kat Von D's out of the picture, I picked it up, and it's just not as good. And I commented about that because Jocelyn Claire, she mentioned that in one of her videos, that she didn't really love it as much as she used to, I think she said. And I commented, I was like, yeah, I feel the same way. It's not really opaque. And, oops, okay, I'm back. And she replied, she's like, I wonder if they just had a ton of stock sitting in their warehouse and then they weren't able to sell it and they went bad, which I think she's onto something there because they used to be such a good eyeliner. It was such a good eyeliner, but I like how precise it is, but it's not opaque anymore. So, yeah, let's move on then. So I don't have a mascara because I tried some mascaras this year, but really I just have my tried and true favorites, and I didn't try them out in 2020, so I'm not going to talk about them. But if you are wondering, it's the ColourPop BFF mascara and the Lashtopia from Bare Minerals. I said I just wasn't going to talk about them, and I did. Okay, before we get into lip products, I have a setting spray actually, and this is the NYX Bare With Me Prime Set and Refresh Multitasking Spray. This is so good. I use this all the time, and I still have a ton in this bottle. I love this as a priming spray, which I didn't really think that was an actual thing, but I really like it. And I like it as a setting spray, and I also like it to wet my brushes when I'm using shadows. So really highly recommend this spray. NYX is always on sale at Ulta. I would highly recommend trying it out if you're looking for something that's multi-purpose. I noticed a difference in my makeup when I use this. Okay, lip products. This year was the year of lip products for me because I'm home. I can always easily reapply. I don't have a mirror at my desk at work, but I have one here because this is where I do my makeup. And so I really got into my lip products this year. I also got into lip gloss this year. So I have two formulas I want to mention. First up is the Tower 28 glosses. I picked up this 4-set during one of the Sephora sales. And I love this gloss. It's shiny, but it also feels like more of like a lip oil treatment. And so I really like that aspect about it. It's not sticky, it's not gloopy, it's not thick. It's so good. I am going to try to pan these next year and just buy a full size of the clear shade. But all of these are really nice and definitely live up to the hype. Other formula I tried this year is the Lisa Eldridge, what is this called? I think it was called the Gloss Embrace. I have the shade Muse. I bought the little lip kit with the Muse lipstick, lip liner, and lip gloss. And this again feels like a treatment on the lips, which is how Lisa Eldridge described it. It's so hydrating and moisturizing, and when it, like if you're, you know, you wear, it's long wearing, but when you wear it all throughout the day and it wears off, it leaves just a layer of hydration on your lips, and it just feels so nice. And I'm constantly reaching for this lip gloss. I really, really like it. And then let's roll into lipstick. So one, I didn't buy a lot of new formulas this year. I just got a lot of the same ones, or ones I've tried in the past. But I did try 4 of the e.l.f. Sheer Slick lipsticks. I just pulled one out because the packaging really sucks and I didn't want to deal with it. But this is the Sheer Slick lipstick in Wild Peach. This is the one I've used the most, and it's just a really nice sheer lip balm hydrating formula. So it adds a tint to the lips, but it's super hydrating, which I really love. You can't go wrong with this lipstick. And they have a ton of shades. I wanted to get more, but I decided to hold off because I don't need more. But yeah, that's a really nice hydrating formula. And then kind of talking about Lisa Eldridge, I bought 3 of her lipsticks, which was a hefty purchase, but well worth it. So first I initially bought Velvet Affair and Velvet Fawn. I bought Velvet Fawn because Amy Loves Makeup always talks about this as her perfect nude, and we have a very similar skin tone. And I have to agree, perfect nude reminds me a lot of ColourPop Third Eye, which is my favorite nude on me. But I love this formula. It's so long lasting. It's almost like, it's so comfortable on the lips, but it's almost like a matte liquid lipstick because it stays on after you eat and you're talking and you're drinking water and you're on Zoom calls and you're talking. It's so great. And also, this is an expensive lipstick, but it's what I would expect from a luxury lipstick. Like, it feels expensive, and I love the magnetic closure. It's just, this is what I'm paying for. When you buy luxury makeup, this is the only luxury makeup I own, really. I own some high-end, I own some lower end, but what people would consider luxury, I don't really own that. This is the only thing, and this is what I would expect. It feels luxurious, it feels expensive, and that's what I like about it. So then I had also bought Velvet Affair because it's more of a darker brown color, which I really like. And I really like that as well. And then while I was waiting for that, because I was on a little bit of a pre-order, while I was waiting, I watched Amy Loves Makeup from when she did her first Lisa Eldridge video, and she swatched Velvet Muse. It's more of like a smoky, rosy color, and it looks so good on her. And so the single was out, so I bought the lip cut kit, which had the gloss and also the lip liner, which I like the lip liner, but I mean, I can't really say I have a favorite lip liner. Like, it's a really nice formula, but I don't know that I would buy more of this formula. Like, I would rather just buy like a really cheap formula for lip liner. Yeah, I bought 3, and I have literally no regrets. I love these. These are going to become staple lipsticks for me that I'm going to wear again and again and again, because this is by far my favorite bullet lipstick formula. I love the ColourPop ones as well, so they're not similar in any way, but I do love those. But for bullet lipsticks, these Lisa Eldridge lipsticks take the cake. Like, they're just so good. And with that being said, those are all of my 2020 favorites. I tried a lot of makeup in 2020. I also panned a lot of makeup in 2020. I really try to find that balance between being a makeup lover and buying new products because I want to, but also making sure I'm using what I own. And that's kind of what I want to center my channel to be about, is loving makeup, but also panning it. So yeah, I'm really happy with the purchases I made this year. I have a handful of things I didn't really like this year, but not enough to really warrant a video about it. So I'm not going to talk about my least favorite makeup of the year because I find it would just be really boring and really just up to personal preference. I didn't really try anything that was like shockingly bad. So I'm not going to do a video like that, but what were your favorite picks of the year? Or if you have a video, let me know down below. And if I haven't watched it yet, I will watch it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!